Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Whether you are on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, good day to you. And if you're watching this replay, make sure you watch it all the way through because we are talking about the inaugural Uncomplicated Leadership Conference taking place here in Houston, Texas, September 23rd. If you're an executive, you don't want to miss it. That's only a few slots for that. But also the 24th and 25th, we have some big things that Julia, my co-host, my lovely co-host, and I are going to be talking to you about today. We heard some questions. We know some folks are like, what are y'all keep posting about? So here we are. So Julia, go ahead and talk to them a little bit. Tell them whatever you want to tell them. I'm excited.
Man, I'm excited too, and your energy always just sets me off. So now I'm excited to talk. But no, I'm so glad that we have this time together today because I've gotten the question of, well, what is the Uncomplicated Leadership Conference? Why should I go? Who is it for? And as we're getting closer to it, I wanted to, for us to make sure that people understood, like, this is why you need to be there. This is not like any other leadership conference that you've been to. It's not, if you look at an old leadership conference that you've been to and you think, okay, this is gonna be the same thing, completely different. We've curated the conversations, we've curated the audience. And so I'm just excited for us to get into it.
Yeah, at 100%. I mean, the largest difference people keep telling me about that they see, and they're like, man, that's a game changer, is one, not only do we have speakers who are actually going to provide actionable insights, and you know what they're going to be talking about. We know what they're going to be talking about, so they're not going to surprise us. But the biggest thing is the fact that we also have coaches, ICF, Certified International Coach Federation. If you don't know what that is, a lot of people are like, coaching. Yeah, I know what coaching is. They're actually talking about something different. ICF is really one of the only, I think there's two in the world, governing bodies for coaches. And our coaches have gone through hundreds of hours to get certified so they can make sure they're providing actionable things for you, strategy for you. And we've curated them as well. They're from my chapter, the Houston chapter, my peoples. And we have some folks who have been in corporate, been in nonprofits, been in various industries. So that's what you can expect. You have to book with them though, because it is filling up quickly, and you have to have a VIP or higher ticket level. So get your ticket while we're talking right now. Actually, I'm gonna put it in the chat.
And that's what I was going to say. So just to quickly welcome everyone, and you're going to see our amazing project manager, Claudia Martel. She is going to be in the chat dropping links for us because Javon and I, we will be riffing and be going on and be forgetting to drop the links. So Claudia is going to back us up today. And if you have questions about this conference, we want you to put them in the chat. We don't want you to wait until September to start thinking about, well, maybe I should go. If there's something that's blocking you from booking your ticket today, put the question in the chat so that Javon and I can answer those questions for you directly. Press us, ask us, dig in. We want to make sure that you feel good about the decision to come and join us on September 24th and 25th, but the 23rd for executives. And so let me just ask you, Javon. So, you've heard different things from people, but if you had to give one big reason why anyone who's watching today should attend this conference, because everyone's like, oh, it's the inaugural conference. We don't know what it's about. Who's it for? If you had to put into one sentence why leaders should attend this conference, what would it be?
One, it's in the name, right? We are in a very complex time, and we're here to ensure that you're preparing for the future right now. And that's why you need to be in that room. We have, as Julia said earlier, we've curated everything. The entire experience is curated for leaders, people who are there making the strategic decisions, and people who are impacting lives, right, through those decisions, and organizations through those decisions. And we're not sitting here and inundating you with a bunch of AI topics and all that other stuff. We are talking about putting people first to get those results. And that's how you're going to make that leadership uncomplicated. Julia has written a phenomenal book on this topic. So you know what? I'm going to shut up and let her tell you about the uncomplicated leadership framework. so you know why you should be attending.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the lead up. Appreciate the lead up. But the reason that uncomplicated leadership is what we wanted to focus on is because, to Javon's point, there's so much noise right now when it comes to leadership. It's like there's leading through AI transformation and leading through this. But at the end of the day, leadership has core principles, and that's what uncomplicated leadership is about. That we have made it complex with all the frameworks, the programs, all the assessments, but we've gotten away from the core business of leading people well. And so what this conference is centered around is just the 5 simple behaviors that leaders need to be effective. And that's what I also put in the book. 5 simple behaviors: clarity, consistency, connection, courage, and celebration. That's it, and that's all. So whether you're implementing a new AI solution, whether you're going through an organizational restructuring, whether there's something else that's happening, those 5 behaviors are going to drive you in an effective way to make change and to bring your organization along so you retain your talent. And so the speakers that we've been able to curate, they're experts in all of these different areas. And so the topics that they're going to share at the conference are going to be able to speak to those, and they're going to provide you with actionable, practical strategies. This is not an abstract where you're just like, man, that session was good, and you can't take it and do something with it the next day. All of the speakers have been carefully curated to make sure that what they share with you is something that you can walk away and put to work the moment you leave. And, and for people who are just like, well, I still don't get the idea of uncomplicated leadership. Let me just quickly just riff a little bit more. Think about if you want to lose weight, you know that there's 2 core things you need to do: increase your caloric output and decrease your caloric input. That's it. Less food, more exercise. Overall, it's not a complex strategy, but it is hard because it causes you to have to transform how you show up and transform your life entirely. And you have to do so with intentionality. It's the same thing with leadership. It's not complicated. You don't need 20 different frameworks, but it does require you to show up intentionally and master those 5 behaviors. And so that's why, and I'll ask you, Javon, to talk a little bit about the makeup of our speakers. Mm-hmm. But that's the reason why we don't have 40 different breakout sessions for you to get lost in. We curated the sessions to make sure that they were few enough for you to be able to get information, but they were robust enough for you to feel like I'm getting a high level of value. But I'm going to pass it back to Javon and say, well, who are we actually having to speak for us today?
Yeah, I mean, y'all got to tune in and actually go to the website to get all the names, but I can tell you what they're talking about, right?
That's
so
right.
Some of the things, change management is huge, right? Emotional intelligence has been used and leveraged. Well, we hear those things, we talk about wellness. These are some of the topics. I was just actually at a healthcare symposium, and they had a CHRO panel. And those 3 things I just mentioned were the things that kept coming up in that panel discussion, right? And then I went to an HR conference here in Houston, the Gulf Coast Symposium, same thing. And the reason why we identified those as 3 of the topics out of the 6 speakers we have is because those themes tie into those 5 C's that Julia just mentioned. So our speakers are experts in their fields. And we have someone with a really cool, they're talking about a bridge. I'm not going to give the whole talk, but they're talking about the bridge and how that correlates to leadership. So we have to sit in these rooms, in these spaces, and hear these speakers that are experts who have done this for various industries, various organizations of all sizes and shapes, and made an impact, right? Everything we have curated for you, that we keep using that word, but it's true. Everything we have curated for you can have measurable impact on you and your organization. And also, what we have is we have resource libraries. We don't have a bunch of vendors there, selling you. And we have spaces dedicated to networking. And we have a welcome reception on the 24th that is on a rooftop with a very nice pool and a very nice view right in Texas Medical Center for you. We have rooms available at the lovely 4-star Blossom Hotel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So pretty much with all that being said, you just have to be here. And that's it. You just have to be here. So, Julia, you said you wanted to go ahead, because I can talk all day about this.
No. No. Listen, I'll let you go. But one of the things that we want to also highlight is, when we were putting this conference together, we thought about, well, who is this for? Right? Because a lot of leadership conferences, right? It's like, it's from the analyst up to the senior executive or C-suite. And while that idea in theory, it sounds good because it's like, well, come one, come all. But we know that when you're having a conversation, if you're trying to talk to everybody, you're not talking to anybody. And so what we did was curate this conference specifically for folks who are at the director level and above in organizations, or they're already leading an established business, or if they're a business owner, entrepreneur, where you already have employees. The reason is we want to make sure that the insights and advice that we share are things that you can go put into practice, and that we're using the language that resonates with you. But if we're trying to keep it vague and broad for everybody, no one gets to take anything valuable away. Now, we're not saying that folks who are aspirational, if you want to attend, you can, but we want to be clear about the audience, because we want to make sure that the folks who are attending get the highest level of value. And so want to quickly talk about the ticket tiers, right? Because folks are probably wondering, well, what all is this going to cost, right? How much is this? Right. Yep. And so we have 3 tiers that are available. And the first tier is really the standard conference pass, and that's $399. And that allows you to come and join us for the welcome mixer, the evening of the 24th, get to know some of the participants, the speakers. You can meet Javon and myself if you haven't met us in person before, and really begin to get the organic networking started. And then you have access to the full day conference on Friday. And then we have the step up, which is our VIP conference pass. And that one is $499, but that allows you to also schedule time with our ICF certified coaches. I want to reinforce that these are folks that have done the work. They didn't just hang up a shingle and say, I'm a coach now. They have coached people who are sitting in the seats that you are in right now. So you're going to get the highest level of value. And then we have the third level of the conference passes, but I'm gonna let Javon talk to us about that highest level conference pass.
Yes, the executive conference pass at $699 includes invite to a private pre-conference executive dinner taking place on the 23rd. We'll also have a roundtable discussion sharing insights into what we're seeing in the way forward. It's only 10 seats available, so actually we only have a few more seats available because we sold a few. Right?
Let's be honest about how many seats are left.
Right. So if you want to get in on that, definitely want to purchase that right away. That is really exclusive to people who are high-level senior leaders. I myself and Julia will be attending. We'll be sharing some of the insights we're seeing. Of course, you get additional, materials that you can use and incorporate into your leadership capacities. We may have a few other people there that can kind of talk to you a little bit as executives. So just join in. We have this thing planned and laid out. We just need you there. Right. You have to be there. You do not want to miss this. The ticket tiers, even the highest, is way lower than conferences typically cost, because we also understand that to make it uncomplicated, there has to be a no-brainer for you as a leader. Why should I attend? Because you have budget for one, and you're not blowing the budget. And then we also have team ticket pricing available. So if you want to bring, a few others with you, feel free, reach out to us, and we have some ticket pricing available for that. And if you sponsor, you automatically get tickets. So if you're just like, let's go ahead and drop some sponsorship dollars, you want your banner on there, holler at us. We got you.
Absolutely. And one other thing I wanted to say for the executive roundtable space is, we kept it small because we want it to be a safe space for folks who are at that level. Both Javon and I coach senior level executive C-suite folks, and we know that it's lonely up there. You hardly get a chance to really unload or share unless you're talking to your coach, because we're bound by confidentiality. But most of the time, otherwise, you're carrying a lot of that weight alone. And so we wanted to create a safe space for a small group of leaders to really share, hey, this is what I'm facing right now. If you've got a major AI transformation that's coming, for example, you've got restructuring that's coming, you've got to lay folks off and you're trying to figure that out in terms of the reputation of your organization, whatever it might be. There are big decisions that you're facing, and we want to make sure that you are in a space where you can share that openly and get support and have a conversation without thinking that it's going out to the masses. And to Javon's point, we may have some other folks in there to help facilitate the discussion to make sure you get the maximum value when you come to that round table. And so, if you're watching this and you're a senior leader, and you're wondering, hey, I've got this thing on my plate, is this a space for me? The answer is yes. If you so that's the answer is yes, that this is a space for you. But again, we had 10 seats, we have fewer now. So if this is something that is of interest to you, we ask you to go ahead and book it today if possible.
Absolutely.
So question for you, Javon. So let's talk a little bit about, where the conference is. So you mentioned, in the Texas Med Center. So for folks who are not familiar with the Blossom Hotel, I mean, we went to tour. I mean, that place was
Beautiful.
awesome.
Beautiful. We'll be posting some materials. We already went out and we got some content for you all, dropping very, very soon. Some videos, some photos, but it's a beautiful hotel. We have great rates. What is it, like 169 or something like that, Judy,
Yes,
for the rooms?
169
I
for our room
mean,
block.
yeah, and it's a very nice hotel. The decor is probably some of the best decor I've seen in a
Yeah.
hotel. And then not only that, it's very centrally located. It's within what we call the Beltway here in Houston. It's Texas Medical Center, the #1 medical center in the nation, by the way. And a lot of restaurants, a lot of food, not too far away from the downtown area of Houston and in uptown area, Galleria area. So you can get to wherever you want to go relatively quickly. There is an airport not too far away. The Hobby Airport is probably like 15 minutes away. You just have a location that is integral to a great experience for you. And then Blossom also has restaurants. It has a cafe there right on the grounds, has valet parking. Yeah, I mean, what more could you ask for? I mentioned the pool on the rooftop, so you have a view if you
Right.
want to lounge around a little bit
Yeah.
and make it a vacation. And we're going to provide some, like a guest book for folks who have never been to Houston. So if you need an excuse and you're coming from out of town, this is your reason, right? Make it a business
Milk
trip.
the corporate card, right? And so, and one of the things, just to go back to the venue, and it's that we've set it up in such a way where the networking can happen organically,
Hmm.
and it doesn't have to be that you're trying to shout over crowds of people in order for that. Like the
Right.
way the Blossom Hotel has supported us and set up the event for us is that there are dedicated spaces for you to go and have important conversations with people that you meet there. And so even the resource library. So usually if you go to a conference, they may have a bunch of vendors and then there's like a resource table that's at the back and you're still hearing everything. And so you're trying to combat all that noise. We've curated a resource library in a separate dedicated space so that you can go and grab the resources, but you can also sit down with people that you meet and
Hmm.
discuss the resources that you're finding, and figure out, okay, well, maybe this is something that will work for you and work for me, and we can have really good conversations. And just to hone in on the networking a little bit more, we're not doing just random networking, right? Like we are curating folks to make sure that, hey, we understand what industries you're coming from, what your needs are, so that we can help you to get paired with people that you want to meet in those networking conversations. We want everything about this conference to be both uncomplicated, but also intentional, so that you don't
Right.
feel like you're walking in and hoping, well, maybe I'm going to meet someone or maybe I'm going to make a connection. It's like, no, I know that I can go in and meet the right people, have good, strong leadership conversations, and see what happens from there.
And speaking of walking, You are not going to have to walk a mile to get to your next session because we have
Yes.
everything within a given area. So,
Yes, we this is not the George R. Brown where you're walking,
yes.
miles and miles. Yeah.
You can get your steps in if you want to, but if you want to chill a little bit and still have some energy at the end of the day, right? We made sure that it's uncomplicated for you to get to the next space. So that's
Totally.
another plus. We really were thoughtful in everything. We've taken feedback from conferences we've spoken at or attended, and kind of thought about that for your sake, to ensure that you have everything that you were missing in prior experiences, and we're not wasting your time, because time is invaluable, especially now. We know people are stretched relatively thin trying to get things done personally, professionally. So I guarantee you this will be somewhere that you said, I was glad I was in that room, I'm glad I attended that, and I will be there next year. So without saying any more, I think that if you have any questions, the only next thing to do is either ask us or take action and hit that link and get your ticket.
But wait, Javon, I got one more thing I was supposed to say.
Deal. Go ahead.
One more thing. And so the other thing is that we talked about the welcome mixer, but at the end of the conference, we also have the Uncomplicated Unwind, which is a happy hour that we're hosting. So let's say that you missed the kind of pre-conference networking, and then you spent your time being fully dedicated in all the sessions, and you didn't have as much time to network during the conference that you wanted. We're hosting a happy hour directly afterwards, so
Yes.
that way you can debrief with folks, but also have a chance to relax and reset and really begin to kind of integrate everything that you've heard, so that you don't necessarily have to, if you have to get on your plane, fine, but that there is going to be something there for you, so that if you want to talk with others, like I said, integrate the concepts, ask questions, because Javon and I will still be there. Some of our speakers will still be there. Some of our coaches will still be there. So you can actually ask some follow-up questions in case there was something that you missed or wanted some greater insight. We want you to walk away with the maximum amount of value from this conference as possible, so that, to Javon's point, that when you go home, that you're like, man, I can't wait. When's the date for 2027? Like we want you to leave with that kind of mindset. And so we've made sure that we have every opportunity for you to get the maximum amount of value. Now I'm done.
Absolutely.
I had to
And
get it out.
hey, I love it. I love it, Julie. Now wait, there's more. So we intentionally also selected the dates of the conference so you can extend the trip through the weekend and not have to
Mhm.
worry about attending the conference. Now there's no reason for you to get on that plane, and you can just enjoy and have leisurely time in Houston, Texas at the Blossom Hotel for the next day. Right. So there's no rush. Network, grab some dinner, grab some drinks, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, your preference, with some of the other attendees, and kind of take this to the next phase, the next step. Again, it's all about implementation. This is not about fluff and feel good. This is about actionable and practical. So that's what we want you to get out of it. You're going to have a good time, but you're also going to have a good time afterwards, because leadership is going to be easier for you.
That's right. And last thing that I wanted to mention is that Javon and myself are not HR practitioners, right? Where we're coming from theory. Both of us have been in leadership, executive type roles. We've also been, and this is not shading HR. We're going to have plenty of HR folks there, so I want to be clear.
I would say,
It's like this is not just to shade our HR brothers and sisters. We're excited to have them with us, but the idea is making sure that people understand that both of us have sat in the seats that you've sat in, and then the folks that we're bringing in who are speaking, they have that background as well. And so we want to make sure that you understand that we're not just bringing theory to you, it's practical lived experience. And that's exactly how we've curated, is based on lived experience, to make sure that the folks who are attending, it's like you can see how this directly applies to you, and it's not a stretch to try to figure out, okay, can I action this? Is this practical? Is this just theoretical? So I wanted to make sure that folks understand that. But like I said, not shading our HR brothers and sisters. I want to clarify.
Come on through everywhere.
we want you in the building, because this is a partnership as well. Leaders and our HR practitioners, it's a partnership to make sure that organizations run effectively. And so we actually need everybody in the building with us. So if you have questions that we haven't gotten to, we ask for you to reach out to Javon and myself directly. We're here to answer those questions to help you make the decision to join us on September 24th and 25th in Houston, Texas.
Absolutely. Well, without further ado, we'll let you get to your weekend or whatever day you're watching. Let you get to it. But reach out to us, and we look forward to seeing you at the Uncomplicated Leadership Conference in Houston, Texas, September 20th.